Hello, Raw Mithril here once again, and we're back to the Mega Man 10 Perfect Run series. Yes, we still have some unfinished business to take care of, here in Time Attack mode. Yes, I'm going after the 3 special stages. These stages were released as downloadable content for the game, and they're based on the Mega Man killer stages from the old Game Boy games. So let's reflect on the past and go after Enker. So of the 3 special stages, this one probably has my favorite music. It has a very energetic, driven feel to it, and I quite enjoy that. At the same time, though, it does tend to feel like the longest of the 3 stages to me. So there's a lot here that can go oh so terribly, horribly wrong. Yes, even a disappearing block segment right at the start. Though once you learn this one, it's not terribly bad. Really, this is about the only part where it can trip you up that badly. Just be careful about long falls like this one. That jump is actually fairly tricky to make. I haven't done it that often. And here we have Searchy. In the main game, it only appears in one of the Wily stages, so it does tend to be one of the most overlooked enemies for the World Warrior Challenge. If it catches you in its searchlight, it reverses the direction of every conveyor belt in the entire stage, even those you haven't gotten to yet, so it probably does have some practical applications for speedrunning. And the more we continue in, the more hectic the stage gets. All the returning Machine Gun Joes in this room, they don't exactly make life easier. It's very, very easy to get the timing wrong on them. The stage also has more than its fair share of leaps of faith. Such as this one. Be certain to hold left, or else those spikes there will oh so happily catch you. So all we have left is a hallway full of mole-moles. Yeah, they're as annoying as ever. I have actually seen a speedrun video that seems to prove that if you keep running to the right and never stop, they always emerge in the same patterns. But the thing is, you can't just keep running right and they'll all just miss you. You basically have to memorize the pattern, because some of them you have to know the exact time and location where they're going to emerge, and jump accordingly. Needless to say, I do not have that pattern memorized. But anyway, it's time to fight Enker. His weapon of choice is the Mirror Buster. He's one of those robot masters that can be fairly intimidating until you know how to deal with him. And the way to deal with him is to always hug the wall when you jump. If you do so, he actually cannot move in any way that'll hit you. It's also worth noting that you can actually shoot him and damage him if he's in mid-jump. He can't seem to block your attacks then. So basically this is a battle of attrition and picking your battles carefully. For example, you really do not want to feed him energy when he's in the middle. Feeding him energy while he's in his absorptions phase, that'll make it so that his attack is bigger, faster, and more powerful, and you really don't want to deal with that at point-blank range. Always prioritize getting to the other side of the room to your safe point. It can be a fairly drawn-out battle, but once you know what he's doing, it's not that bad. Still, don't drop your guard, ever. Enker can be really good at faking you out sometimes. But I think I've almost got this. Not taking any undue risks, and there we go. Enker is down. Whew. No real celebration, though. However, it does actually give you a special weapon. In beating Enker, you acquire the Mirror Buster. It's a shield that reflects weapons, and it can be rather nice to use. Amusingly enough, it can reflect Pumpman's handle throw during hard mode fights, so that's kind of amusing. And also, I think that's super effective against him. So, yeah, not gonna lie, this was a tricky stage. Plenty of outtakes. Enjoy! Yeah, there is definitely a lot going on in this stage. Oh, bugger! Ankor is one of those bosses that's intimidating at first, right up until you learn his secret. That being that the wall is your friend. So long as you hug the wall when you jump, he cannot possibly corner you, but he can hit you that way. Oops. Now, interestingly, I have seen proof in a speedrun that if you keep holding down right and, never stop moving, the moles actually do appear in the same pattern. Never mind. As such, it is one of the most overlooked enemies for the World Warrior Challenge. Oh, you spaz! Whee! Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy! Yay! Oh, I hate you. You also need to learn to pick and choose your battles here. Otherwise, that happens. Enker actually has a few secrets. One of which is the fact that he can actually be shot while in midair. Oh, should have reversed direction. You can be a pain still, Enker. And it's not something that you can just safely keep running through. You pretty much have to have psychic knowledge of where some of them are going to come up and when. Case in point. You can't just run and they'll all miss you. You do have to have... What? Seriously? Oh, now that's the dumbest hit detection yet. So apparently I wasn't quite right about how the Mirror Buster works. So let's have a little proof of concept here against Hard Mode Pumpman. Let's just get this ready here. So it doesn't reflect the weapon itself per se, but it does protect you from the damage it would have done. And then it releases an energy bolt toward the enemy. Now, it won't protect you from absolutely everything, but it is still fairly useful. A nice weapon to have overall. And very fun to use against Pumpman. So, no easy or hard mode fights this time. The special stages just have the one difficulty, and that's it. And since Proto Man and Base can't even play these stages, no need to talk about differences with them. Thus, it's back to a regular old difficulty analysis. This one was rather tricky and highly intimidating before I noticed the easy way to dodge him. Yet, even then, he did still cause a fair amount of trouble. I give Enker a 7 out of 10. The stage is somewhat lengthy, and the attacks never stop. They like to throw things at you in very close quarters, such as multiple returning machine gun Joes, Mets, and those blasted moles toward the end. These areas, they all tend to be fairly claustrophobic. This is also somewhat true of Enker himself, as he likes to try to pin you down. However, hugging the wall and jumping over him will save you pretty much all the time. It's not a perfect system, though, as it's still easy to get the timing wrong, and if he doesn't stay in his absorbing phase that long, you might get swiftly tagged from behind as you run for the other wall. This, however, is a bit of a rarity, and it's usually preventable by just keeping a close eye on him. The main thing is just to stay patient during this fight and don't make it more difficult than it already is by feeding him too much energy. There doesn't seem to be any real pattern to his movement or the timing of his attacks, so if you react too early, jumping too soon, you might not have time to correct for that, so just keep your cool during this one. I'd say he earns the 7 out of 10 though. There's been worse, but there's been far easier to deal with. So with that, that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the vid, and I will see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.